Give me that faith. Give me that fashion. 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 Give me that faith. Give me that fashion.
Lord, you knew what you were doing when you created this one.
House of faith and fashion.
Uh-oh.
Rabbi! How is my mama? You look beautiful. You're wearing a little bit of Larissa Diran fall. A lot of Larissa Diran fall. Previous current. That could be a new group. Come on in, sit down, talk to me. It's been a while.
I know, but you know,
Gorgeous,
but
all
you-
falled out.
But you are coming tonight because it's Shabbos, for God's sake.
Of
So I'm going to
course.
see you twice today, okay?
I never miss the rock and roll Shabbos.
Rock and roll Shabbos.
Mama.
Hello, darling.
Hi, my little darling.
How are you? My
I'm-
favorites, my favorites. How
Oh,
are
you say that to all the boys.
No, I don't, darling. I don't say that to all the boys. I only say it to you because you're my favorite, you know, handsome designer.
I love you too.
If it wasn't for you, I would have never graduated rabbinical school. So
Ah.
you're here to tell everybody that you were my final thesis.
Kenahara.
Exactly. Kenahara and Mazel Tov and praise the Lord and all that other, and all that other stuff. Tell me, darling, even though I have the answer already, how were you raised?
I was raised, you know, I come from a European Armenian background. And as anybody who knows Armenians, and not a lot of people do in this
They
country.
don't. They
No,
don't.
but the
No.
Armenians were a culture not unlike the Jews or, yeah, they're very, they'd gone through a great deal of loss due to religious oppression and prejudice. If anybody knows anything about the Armenians, between the 1890s and 1915, they suffered millions of deaths and atrocities at the hands of the Turkish Ottoman Empire due to the fact that they were Christian Orthodox. And it was the exact kind of template that Hitler used in his final solution.
I talked to Patricia Field about the exact same subject,
Well,
which is
Patricia's-
amazing, which is the same background
Patricia's
as
half
you.
Greek
yes,
and half,
yes,
Armenian.
Yes, half
So
Armenian.
that's a
Yeah.
double whammy.
Yeah, double
Because,
whammy.
you know,
That's
between
right.
our Jews and the Greeks and the Armenians, we all went through a lot of hell
That's right.
to have
To
our
practice
faith.
your faith, yes.
So I was raised in a very rebellious home. Though my father was very traditional, my mother
Well, we know your
My
mother.
mom
Your mother.
was like being raised with Zsa Zsa Gabor
Oh,
as a mother.
Zsa, absolutely. Zsa and Ava all
Zsa
together.
and Eva and the whole bunch.
And Ava Gardner a little bit in
And-
there
oh,
also.
yeah.
Yes.
So she
Oh,
was
my
very
God.
that growing up. She was a glamour girl. And, you know, I always compare her to you and Doreen.
Right.
The fabulous
Glamour.
Doreen.
Gla-
She was just like you girls when she was in her 40s.
Right.
And
God bless you for
Yeah.
saying in her 40s.
Ah.
Shut up.
So from my lips to God ears.
I'll let that slide. I'll let that slide. Thank you.
Mwah.
Yes.
But she was not a religious woman. She was a dance teacher, and she was a very, very free spirit. And she didn't want us to really be raised with religion, but I had a very religious grandmother.
Right.
And she came with us to America. One stayed there in Europe, and one came here. And there was always that tug of war, you know. But, you know, I don't think my mother was against religion. She was against the oppression that
Right.
sometimes happens at the hands of religious groups.
Right.
And they could be any religious group.
Right.
And she didn't like that. So I was raised in a way to believe that I really saw the best in religions because I didn't see the ugliness in religion. You know, I had an ex that was raised in a very strict Irish Catholic environment. And as a result of it, was very bruised by the Catholic upbringing. So to me, I never viewed Catholicism extremely negatively or even negatively at all until I was an older man and they were against gays and they were against abortion and they were against so many other things that I didn't have a lot of moral issues with.
Right.
For the right reasons, of course.
Of course.
You know, abortion for a right reason. Some would agree, would think there are no right reasons.
Right.
I believe there are right reasons. If somebody has been sexually abused or violated, that's a correct, in my opinion, it's a choice a woman has
Right.
to make herself. It's not the community's decision.
Okay.
Being gay. I don't believe my decision to be gay was a decision.
No, it's
You know,
yeah. I
My
understand.
favorite thing was, you know, because you can't blame people. People are very naive about, they don't understand a lot of time how someone becomes gay, and they don't understand we're born gay.
Yes.
And my sister-in-law, when the AIDS epidemic became huge in the 80s, you know, she had a talk with me as we were walking in front of her house in upstate New York, and she said, well, you know, the AIDS epidemic is out, and
And
you've
stop
been-
being gay.
You've been saved. Do you think you could stop being gay now?
Right.
And I go, oh yes, I see. I guess I made the decision
Right.
to be, you know, to be rejected by like 70% of the world community.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. That's who
Right.
I was.
So my next question to you is that you ultimately had to have a lot of faith in yourself, in your own journey, because
think
it
that-
sounds like that.
Yeah,
Also.
you have to, but you know, I was raised to be a very good person. The one thing I took from both my parents, but from my father and my grandmother, who were very religious for the majority of their lives, I took with me that moral value.
A moral compass.
Yes, a moral compass, that you don't do certain things to people
Right.
because that's not a good energy to bring on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as much the hand of God slapping me as much as karma slapping me.
Okay. Well,
And
it could be the same thing.
you know, a karma god,
Mm-hmm.
the spirit of the universe. Let's face it, it's all basically the same thing. I really was taught the best things about being a good person, to being a mensch.
Being a mensch.
Being
All
a
right. It's
mensch.
important to be a mensch.
So I didn't see any of the ugliness of organized religion till later. And there is a lot of it because people, unfortunately, humans are humans, and there are going to be a bunch that are going to use it.
Tell me about it.
I know.
Tell me.
to-
Tell me something I don't know. Wink, wink. I don't know. Wink, wink.
They're going to use it to their own purposes, and that's
Mm-hmm.
a sad thing. Religion should be used for the betterment of the human race,
It should be.
to make you a better human being.
It should be. Yes.
And-
ultimately, it should be.
And
but, you know,
unfortunately,
we don't
people
know
use
it.
it like people in government use the governing of nations
Right.
against their own people. It's just the way it is. It's something we have to work on
Right.
to better ourselves as a world
Right.
community. So, I mean, I was not raised religiously, but I was raised to respect religions and to understand them, and I was able to take out of all the religions things I love. Part of me is Buddhist.
Oh, really?
Part of me is Christian Orthodox, Armenian Christian Orthodox. Part of me is Catholic. And part of me, a big part of me is
Is
Jewish.
Yes. So,
And that's part of me, and a big part of me is Yiddish.
a big part. Speaks a mean Yiddish. I just
Well,
can't get over
I grew
it.
up in New York City. I didn't even know, to me, white people were the Brady Bunch.
Right.
I mean, I didn't know people like that really existed. I thought it was something TV invented. In New York, my best friends were Black Americans, Latin Americans from all the Latin countries.
You had all the flavors.
Asian American, Jewish. Jewish was the whitest thing I could find in New York City.
Yeah,
So
well,
my friends were.
Look at me.
You're pretty white.
White.
But it was, you know, being an Armenian, which is basically being an Aramaic culture. You know, we're kind of Middle Eastern, we're kind of
Right.
Eastern
Yeah,
European.
absolutely.
And we relate more to a more ethnic.
So you're a Sephardic Jew.
Basically.
That's it. You're a Sephardi boy.
Yes.
A pretty Sephardi boy.
Oh, honey, thank you. But I mean, I grew up with these kids and I learned Yiddish from all their boobies. because my friend Todd Vogel, Jamie Treef, all my pals that were my best friends in school always had a grandmother.
Yiddish grandmother.
A Yiddish grandma.
Who made really good food.
Yes, and she would always teach me Yiddish.
Yiddish.
And I also learned Spanish from my Spanish friends,
But
abuelinas.
there's
and
nothing like a Yiddish expression. Though.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not translatable.
There's no language I could think of that better expresses the emotion of the meaning
it's a
of the
very,
word.
very emotional language.
Like tsuris.
I've got
You're giving me a lot of tsuris.
Do you have tsuris? Do you have tsuris?
I have tsuris.
I have tsuris.
Oy vey, do I have
do I
tsuris.
have tsuris?
But tsuris, of course, means trouble.
But it's different. It's gut
It's
wrenching.
from the gut wrenching. Tsuris.
Heartfelt. Ugh,
Yeah.
tsuris.
And like.
You can't
and
say,
the
oh
word-
yeah, I have trouble. Doesn't sound the same.
And you know, there are other words like drek. Drek means.
Yeah, a lot of men I know.
A drek?
Yes.
We got to get you out of the drek and get you a good menschel.
I need a good mensch. I don't need any more drek.
And mensch.
Yeah.
Mensch is a good example of a word. It means
but
a good
it's not
person.
sexy though to have a mensch. You need like a mensch
A
with a twist.
supermensch.
Yeah, you need an ubermensch.
Ubermensch, excuse me.
Ubermensch. You need an ubermensch.
But I mean, you know, I took all these things with me, and that was the way I was raised. So it was really about being a good human being, and God bless. I could say that my brother is the same way as I am. We're very different, as you know.
Well, I know.
Charles and I are very different, but he's a very good person.
Yes.
He's grumpy.
No, he
He's
is.
rude. He's a lot of things as far as I'm concerned. But he's an extremely
Go
moral
ahead,
person.
badmouth him on camera. Let's see if
He's
you
gonna
make
see
it through
this,
another
and I'm
make it
gonna
through
get-
another
I'm gonna-
Thanksgiving dinner.
I'm
after
gonna get
that.
kicked in the mouth
yeah,
on the
yeah.
next
Go ahead,
holiday.
keep going, keep going.
But-
Your mother stopped talking to you also. This will be the end of your whole mishpacha will be finished.
The
okay?
mishpacha.
Keep going, keep talking,
But,
Louise.
no,
I
but-
won't stop. You go destroy your whole life altogether. That's fine.
But Charles is fine. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a very good person, and no matter how grumpy he is or anything, there's a very good person there. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you know, my most favorite topic that you and I discuss a lot,
Uh-oh.
which is the topic of what does dress modestly mean? And you know what that is in Hebrew.
Yes.
What is that? What is that called?
Sneers.
Sneers.
Is she sneers?
Is she sneers?
Make sure she sneers.
That's cover,
And
cover,
the
cover,
sneers and the cover, cover,
cover,
techia and
cover,
techia,
cover.
techia.
Yeah, exactly.
It-
So
it
come on,
was-
talk about modesty.
Well, I love the fact there's a sneers patrol
Yeah.
in
well,
Crown Heights. There is a sneeze. What is that? A bunch of women running around with bats?
No, it's men. Unfortunately, it's men making sure that girls are dressed properly, and then if they're not, I believe, reporting back to the parents or the principal
how
of the school
strange.
to say so and so. Listen, I know I was thrown out of my yeshiva many, many times for having short skirts, but
Ironically, my mother was thrown out of the nun schools in Europe for wearing lipstick and leaving her hair down.
things haven't changed. So, really,
And she wasn't Jewish.
Seriously, what is your interpretation of modesty?
Well,
We'll,
you know-
we'll separate the sneers control because I know you have a lot of clients that are ultra orthodox women,
To
and
me,
you deal with them.
elegance and sophistication are translated. Sneers is translated, in my mind, should be translated to elegance and sophistication. When you think of a woman who's elegant and sophisticated, who do you think of? You could sometimes think of our first lady.
Yeah.
You think about Audrey Hepburn.
Yes.
You know, that's sophistication. And what does it
Doris
mean?
Day.
It means appropriate dress for an occasion.
With a twist.
With a twist, it could be the twist is not the issue. The issue is, does it read into something ladylike? So ladylike would be what I would think of as the most sneeze thing you could do. When I hear that a woman can't show an elbow or something, that's to me, it's extreme and very strange. You know, we make a lot of dresses for Orthodox women.
Yes.
We make event dresses and we make wedding dresses.
Right.
And each one comes from a different sect.
Yeah, and everyone has their own rules.
And they have their own rules.
Right.
Sometimes you could show the elbow, sometimes you can't. And the
He's an
rabbi
ex-
is often calling.
He's an expert.
Yeah. The rabbi is often calling the bride and saying, are you being sneers? Remember, I won't marry you if you're not sneers. All this insanity.
Oy vey.
It makes oy vey.
Oy vey.
Oy vey is me.
Oy vey is smear, exactly.
But
It's an
it-
oy vey smear.
And I often listen to this and I wonder, well, what's the difference between showing an elbow or showing the whole lower arm? I'm not sure because I'm not in that culture. But there's a matter of respect. You have to respect the culture.
Right.
And, you know, people go, well, that's not fair. But, you know, at the end of the day, when I walk, if I go to a country where what I'm wearing is inappropriate, I don't simply wear it.
So here lies my next question, because you just let me right into it. So how do you feel about people, the way they dress for a house of worship?
You know, house of worship could be interpreted in many different ways.
Well, let's see.
A house of worship is a religious house of
a
worship.
religious house
A
of worship.
theater.
Yes, I
A
understand.
theater
Yes,
is a house of worship
I
too
un-
to me. I'm an old Broadway baby. When people go to the theater
Oh,
dressed
come
in,
on in and play me.
I can't.
That's
Hot
baby. I'm sorry.
No.
Go ahead.
But to me, someone to go to the theater in flip-flops and cut-off shorts and a tank top, that's inappropriate.
Well, how do you
There
feel
is a
about how
sense
people
of
dress for
ritual-
church?
Yeah, same thing. Sense of ritual and respect for what you're doing. There's a ritual. When you lose the ritual, you don't know how to, you're not milestoning the moments of your life. When you get married,
Interesting.
you wear
A wedding dress.
a wedding dress. Why don't you just wear a simple dress, dum-dum dress of any day? Why do you go through the hell of picking that thing and fitting that thing and sometimes having it made from scratch?
Right.
Because you're going through the milestones of your life.
And
When you
going to a
lose-
house of worship is a milestone
and
in
it's
your
a
life.
milestone. It's a day.
Even if it's
a
a weekly milestone.
milestone. You're milestoning your life. Very much like Shabbos is a milestone
Of the week.
of the week. Then why bother doing these things?
Well, let me ask you a question. Isn't it also, having respect for yourself and then also having respect for you're in the house of God? So don't you want to be respectful to God?
If
Would
you're
you go
there
to
because-
Would you go to Buckingham Palace in t-shirt and shorts? Would you visit the Vatican in a t-shirt and shorts?
Some
I mean,
do.
but
Many do.
I know it's
but
horrible though.
I can't.
If you can't go and see the Queen in a t-shirt
Look,
and shorts,
I've
and you
done-
can't meet the Pope in a t-shirt. You can go as a visitor and stick your, out in Vatican Square or out, by the gates of Buckingham Palace. But if you had to meet, there is protocol.
Yes.
I know that. So why don't you have an inner protocol when you're in the house, house
People
of God?
did.
People
Communities
did.
did.
What happened?
Do you remember? I mean, I remember when we came to America.
No, everybody dressed.
Everybody, it was the 60s.
Everyone
And
dressed. You
one-
dressed to fly, to go on an airline.
Right. That drives me berserk. The new flying outfits that people come
You
up
mean
with.
like my daughter wears pajama pants and a t-shirt and her own pillow?
How horrendous.
And Uggs.
And Uggs, not the
Uggs.
ugly Uggs. That's an abomination, Uggs. I'm saying that publicly now. That's an abomination. That needs to.
Don't sue me. I didn't say
It's
a
my
word.
opinion.
I don't. Nothing.
I'm entitled.
Nothing. If you want to do the House of Faith and Fashion exclusive Uggs, be my
Ah.
guest. We'll make a deal. No problem.
Um,
Good enough for Jimmy Choo. Good enough for me.
But in the old days, when you went to Asbury Park,
Yeah.
did you know there was a rule? You weren't supposed to walk on the boardwalk after 5 o'clock without
No,
women
right.
and men had to be dressed appropriately.
Right.
Because they were going to dinner on the boardwalk
Well,
and all
listen.
this.
Most places had a jacket. You
But
had to wear a
wasn't it
jacket.
fun? I mean, people.
It was more
I
elegant.
don't think that people rebelled against it. I think that they got lazy.
You think
I
so?
think there's a big sense of laziness. Why bother? That whole why bother culture. Why bother? Why bother?
Luis, I'm going to flip this interview on you.
Ah,
Ugh, I know, but you have no problem with this. If you had to ask me one question, what would you ask me?
what do you want to get out of your house of faith and fashion? What do you want to accomplish?
Wow, good question, Luis. What do
Ah,
I
you
want-
asked for it, Mamala.
I know, but I knew you would give me a good one. What do I want to accomplish? I want to disclaim the stigma of the fact that they're unrelated, that fashion has nothing to do with faith, and that faith has nothing to do with fashion. And these two subjects are totally void of each other, because they are not. Because somebody cares about what they look like doesn't mean that they're a vain and vapid person and they have no spirituality. And just because somebody has spirituality doesn't mean that they have to neglect their outsides. So if I had to say what my ultimate, I give it just one word, which is what I think everyone seeks to find, is balance.
And what do the two have in common?
What do the two have in common?
In my opinion, they're both forms of self-expression.
Yes.
Your faith and your sense of personal style
Yes.
are distinct indications of your self-expression. I think Isaac Mizrahi was the one who said it years ago. Show me a person who tells you he doesn't want to look good, and I'll show you a liar. And that was very telling. Who doesn't want to be attractive? Who doesn't want people to admire them, or even to admire yourself? You know, I don't dress for anybody else but myself. If I wanted to dress for other people, I would look a lot different. I dress for myself. It gives me the inertia to begin the trials and tribulations of my day with a good head. If I feel, you know, I had a friend in Los Angeles. She's a lovely girl, and she was my friend since college, but she used to work out of the house. She was a Jewish girl. And she used to sit in sweatpants and a t-shirt all day and work, no makeup.
We do not sit in sweatpants and t-shirts. You're lying.
I'm not talking Barbara Streisand
You're
here.
lying.
Because
We
Barbara's
do
like butter.
Not, we do, my nail, like butter.
Her nails are like butter.
Like butter.
butter.
Like butter.
Ach,
Coffee
But-
talk. Faith, fashion, faith. Discuss.
I've got it for you.
Discuss.
She would sit at home and she would do this. And one day I had a talk with her. She was a tough broad. And I said to her, I'm going to ask you a question. Why don't you do yourself a favor?
Get out of the house.
Get up in the morning, dress like you're going to work, put on your makeup, do your hair. She said, for who? I said, for you. For you. For you.
For you.
I said, for you. Because it's very important that you feel good about you, and the rest of the world will feel just as good about you. This is a very important point. She took my advice.
Of course she did.
She got dressed, and when she went to the post office that day, like she did
She
to mail
met
out
her
of the
next husband.
she met a guy, and
There
she said
you
to
go.
me,
There
it
you
wasn't,
go.
I didn't become her next husband. She said, you know what? I was so happy because I felt great about myself when I turned around that line and met a guy.
So you could say that you did a mitzvah.
I did a mitzvah. I did a shidduch.
That's it.
I
Oh
did
my
a
God.
shidduch.
We need subtitles for
It
this
did
one. This is gonna go. This is like in a show at the Yiddish theater. I don't know what this is. Larice.
Yes.
We're gonna end this interview, and I'm surprising you. There is the Larice Diran collection. There's the Larice Diran candle. There's Larice Diran scarves. There's Larice Diran ties. Menswear, women's wear. I want you to design the Larice Diran prayer.
The prayer.
Yes.
How do you design a prayer?
It's
You
all
write it.
yours. Yeah, but exclusively designed by you. Of course, you write it because you can't physically design a prayer, but you have exclusively, this is the Larice Diran prayer. Let's end it with your prayer.
So it would be something in the realm of, I wish you health.
Who? This is your thing. To
Yeah,
everyone.
to
Okay, in
everyone.
general. Okay.
I wish you health. I wish you happiness.
And I wish
I
you
wish you
joy.
love.
I didn't break out in a song. My God, I said a prayer, not a song. And I wish you
No,
joy.
I wish the world happiness. I wish them peace. I wish them serenity. I wish them self-love and self-worth.
And for that, you'd say,
Mazel-
Amen.
Amen and mazel tov.
Amen and mazel tov. Ugh, you're so hysterical. Now we have to try on some clothes because I need clothes. Okay?
Ah.
Okay, this part's over. I gotta, now reality starts, really. I gotta get some stuff here. We have to go through the collection because I have to go overseas and look proper, darling. Proper,
All right,
sweetie,
girl.
sweetie.
Well,
Okay, let's go. Okay, so come on, I gotta do some shopping, especially because
you're gonna make me my sugar.
Yeah, I know, but I'm traveling overseas a lot to London, so I need I need my London gear happening. Okay.
All right. Well, there's a few things for fall in London. I mean, first of all,
Yeah, of course.
with the eyes, you need to do this.
Yes,
With
yes,
those
the
big light
green.
green eyes.
Yes.
And this is something that's sneeze. I
The
mean, it
le-
covers your arms.
Yeah, it's the lady leopard dress.
A lady leopard.
This
It's
is what Eve would have worn. No, actually, it's
isn't
snake
leopard.
skin.
It's not
Snake
even that. You know
skin.
what
What is
it
it?
is?
What is it?
It looks like snake skin. It's a series of feathers that have been made to look like snake
It's the
skin.
feather lady. Okay.
Isn't it gorgeous? And
It's
look at
stunning.
the
Look at
brocade
that.
that matches it.
No,
It's
I love it.
too joyful.
To die. Okay, this also is to die.
Yeah,
This
they're
I
all
love.
in your
Yeah.
color.
No, this is like so perfect for me. So perfect. Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Ugh.
all this kind of heather.
Excuse me. Wait. Can you stop?
Can I
Thank you.
stop?
Yeah, yeah. Stop.
You're gonna-
I gotta
what are you
try
trying?
this.
The
This,
coats?
because you know I'm crazy with these Lady Gaga shoulders. The
Well,
Gaga.
that's our box shoulder this season. I wanted to do.
Oh, I want
I
this.
worked on
I
this for
need this. I
months.
have to have it. It's mine. Can I walk out with it?
Look at this.
Sweetie
It's the weather
darling.
for it today. Let
Come
me tell you.
on. It is so perfect. I also need some sweaters.
Yeah,
because,
the
you know-
sweaters here are ridiculous.
Yeah.
I worked with an Argentinian knitting company on these.
Larice, Complots. Oh
Yeah, they do
my
a gorgeous
God.
job, and we came up with some gorgeous ideas. Look at this hand knit baby alpaca. This collar is Tobi.
This and so what is this like?
This
Like
crisscrosses over your belly, which is a little bit racy, like this. But if you wear a body under it,
no kidding. Really?
then it's sneeze.
You're joking. Sneers or no sneers, I would be wearing a body underneath it. You know. Oh
Yeah.
my God, this is stunning. And then this.
And that's the skirt that goes with the other piece.
Oh
and it's
my
got fins.
God!
There's a lot
Look
of
at
fin
this!
action
Look at
going
the
on.
look at the thing going on here. Look at the work. It's
And then
zipped.
this dress you
How did you-
own in another incarnation.
Yes, I
This is
own
my
that in
best selling.
pink. That was my first Larice dress.
The Noel dress.
The Noel dress. And then I love this also, Larice. I love the blue combo.
Yeah.
I really, really do. I love it, and I love the bag.
What do you love?
Now that you're doing a
Love,
bag.
love.
I love. I know that you're doing a bag, sweetie,
See
sweetie.
the knit bag.
Look at the knit bag, darling, sweetie.
Just really, we really went all out for this.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Okay,
I'm
let's
really,
go
really
eat.
hungry.
I know what you want to have.
Where are we going? Next door
I
to
know.
Basilica?
We're going Veselka.
I'm sorry, Basilica.
Ukrainian staple of the East Village in New York.
Basilica. I need borscht.
I know you need
I need
borscht.
vegetarian borscht like my grandmother used to make.
And I will have
With potato and sour cream, and you're going to have a matzo ball soup.
matzo ball soup.
There you
and
go.
a beatini. They actually make borscht into alcohol, and I need a drink.
Okay.
All right. Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
it.
Wait, but we have to get umbrellas.
All right, let's
'cause
go,
I'm,
cutie.
I'm really, really hungry. Oh, look, it
Okay.
says New York, New York.
I will shield you
Start
from the rain.
spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
In fashion, I live my life according to God and my faith. In my fashion, all I ever wanted to do is walk by my faith. Is walk by my faith. I'll walk by my faith in fashion.